Welcome back to Maria and Joe Live TV, and I love to say that Joe is now finally on the camera.
Hey, I'm so glad to be back with you. I think my hair finally came back in, so let's give it a go.
Oh, well, we should have John Janae at this segment, but unfortunately, he's not here yet. We'll try on the third or fourth segment. If not, we're gonna get him on the phone. He has to be here. John Janae. All right. For now, we're gonna talk about leadership styles. What type of leadership? So go ahead, Joe. What do you want to say? It's your turn.
Well, actually, just to touch on a little bit about the tragedy in Vegas again, because that's when people really have to step up to the plate. A lot of us are leaders, and more leaders are just managers, moving paperwork from here to here, hiring and firing, and following up on issues. But real leaders kind of develop where there is no plan, where they have to step up and make sound decisions, and sometimes they're not popular. President Trump, for instance, although he got voted because more people voted for him than anyone else, he still isn't very popular. And that's confusing because he's doing some things that he never had to do, or some other presidents didn't have to do. But the bottom line is we have to step up, show our character, and lead by example. And sometimes people don't know how to lead until they're put in that situation because, as we know, situations and tragedies change. So there's no mold or no model for everything that's going to come up. You kind of have to lead, get in there, and figure out what has to be done. So whether you like him or not as a leader, there's lots of different kind of leaders. There's some that sit back and what will be will be. Others just jump in with both feet and they worry about the facts later. And some want to spend time just studying the issues before they make a decision.
Well,
and a good, well-rounded leader has to know how to do all of those things at different times. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thought about this is I disagree with you with saying that when you become a leader, there's no plan, or when you're
true.
a leader, you have to have a plan A, B, C. You cannot be a leader and you don't have plan, because an effective leader is efficient and effective. So you have to be efficient and effective. Being the leader of my previous company that I work for is I always have a plan A, B, C, because I know that plan A don't always work. It's not gonna go the way you plan to be. So you have a second option and a third option. Because if you are a leader and you don't have plan A, B, C, you shouldn't be a leader.
Well, that's true, and that's why we hire a good team to help us out in those situations. That's very true. Very true. And boy, can you imagine so many tragedies going on at the same time? Where does your focus have to be? So you have to have a good team that also has good leadership and come together and try to figure out the best course of action, like you said. Plan A, B, and C.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have you are capable of under pressure you know what you're gonna be doing, and you have to be smart because the critical thinking is really, really hard when you're not you don't have that ability to actually shift from this to plan A to plan B. And also it's really important that you are likable.
That's important.
It's also important because if nobody likes you, this is what happened. They will jeopardize your leadership or your management, role.
I kind of disagree with that. I think you must be respected for
Respected,
what
yeah,
you
that's
know,
what I
and
meant.
how do you do things.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Obviously, most popular leaders are not always liked. They make decisions that some people don't like, obviously. If I'm getting, let's just say, for example, $5,000 a month in Social Security, and all of a sudden a new government comes in like, 5,000 is a little bit much, don't you think? Let's cut it to 3,000. I'm not going to like that person taking $2,000 away from me, but realizing that extra 2,000 is going to fund another program that's equally important. So likable, we all want to be liked. Let's face it, but that's not realistic sometimes.
I do, well, I meant respected.
Yeah,
Respected when, when they like you, they respect you. When they respect you, they might not like you. So yeah,
that's true. That's true, but tough.
it's tough. You know what? A leader's job never been easy. To be honest, it's never been easy. It's because you are actually the gateway. Is that what they call it? Gateway with the owner or your boss and your employees. So you're in the middle. You're the sandwich. So it's really really hard to in your position. It's really hard to manage the same level of relationship on the bottom and on the top.
Well, that's a good point. You can't be something to everyone, or you can't be everything to everyone. You have to pick and choose sometimes. But
You don't pick and
sometimes
choose.
managers and even leaders get hired and they don't even know what the job is, but they may have just been the best applicant at the time. And other people are forced into leadership without too much experience. So there is a time where you know it all. We hired the best candidate for the job, and there are times where we're sometimes not sure when we hire that leader.
What do you mean by pick and choose? Because I don't believe that picking and choose is the right word.
I believe when someone's applying for a position of leadership, you may be the only candidate, or you
No,
might have two or three
no.
candidates,
What you
and they
mean?
have to choose the best one.
What you mean earlier is when you said that when you are in the middle, you cannot
Yeah.
pick and choose at the bottom or the top because
Right,
there's no.
exactly. Are you going to try to please your employees, or are you going to try to please your boss?
No, you don't have to please anybody.
That's exactly the point. You have to
You
do your
cannot
job.
pick and choose, and you cannot actually please anybody because you know what you have to do is just do your job right, because once you're doing your job right, you don't have
Yeah.
to worry about picking and choose. They will pick and choose you.
Hopefully pick. That's right. Hopefully they pick you. That's true. Like the military, people get promotions sometimes and they're not prepared for the next position. They're just kind of thrown into it, even though they tested and they went to get the education. Sometimes we're hiring people that are not ready for that position yet. It happens.
Yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot, and I seen it a lot. And this comes into play where the sexist kind of thing. They pick
Yeah.
they pick the wrong people. They pick the wrong gender just because it's that gender, and it sucks for those people who have the ability to manage to lead, and they have the education, they have the personality, they have the knowledge, and they're being set aside.
Well, that's true, and you and I talked before on this issue where we agreed to kind of disagree, because I've seen it growing up with my father working for General Motors. There was a quota: how many minorities you have to hire, how many women you have to hire, how many, and sometimes they were not the best applicant, but that was the quota they had to follow. And it happens either way. Sexism, racism is out there. It's
Yeah.
sad, but it's out there. But sometimes the wrong person gets the job just because of those issues. It's
Yes,
true.
Devin. Yeah, that's really, really true. It's sometimes this is how the world goes around now, is about picking and choose, or you know, choosing the wrong employees, or it's just the norm now. You know what I mean? It's the norm. It's normal for all these leaders, and I wish I can actually divide my body into 100 million persons so that I can show them the right way.
Of course. At least 100,000.
100,000 or
100,000
100
is running
million,
around.
whatever. You are laughing at me. This is our conversation
No,
with me and Joe
laughing
every
with
single
you.
day. We always disagree to agree. Disagree
True,
to
and
agree.
nothing's wrong with that. We're not going to try to hurt each
We-
other. We're gonna laugh later on over a glass of wine or something, right?
Yeah. Well, now this is the end of the second segment, and we're
Right.
gonna have Jen Jene over the phone in few moments. Welcome.
All
Welcome
right.
back.